It was a cold, stormy night in March 2015. Air Canada Flight 624 was minutes away from landing in Halifax. As the Airbus A312 approached Halifax Stanfield International Airport, hidden challenges began to unfold. The winter storm strengthened, visibility diminished, and the runway lighting system revealed its inadequacies. In the cockpit, two highly skilled pilots worked tirelessly to navigate the deteriorating conditions. The captain, a veteran of the skies with nearly 12,000 flight hours, was paired with an equally experienced first officer. Despite their expertise, neither could anticipate the cascade of errors and unforeseen obstacles that awaited them. The weather forecast had already signaled trouble. Winds howled with relentless force, snow swirled furiously, and temperatures plunged to a biting -1 degree centigrade. While still within operational limits, the conditions pushed the boundaries of safety. Halifax Airport itself presented its own challenges. Its runway lighting was outdated and lacked the brightness needed in low visibility situations. Runway 5 featured an uphill slope, a subtle but significant detail that could create visual illusions for pilots during their descent. These imperfections would soon come into play. Flight 624 had taken off from Toronto's Pearson Airport, leaving behind its bustling terminals for the quiet skies above. Passengers settled into their seats, oblivious to the storm brewing ahead. Among them were families, individuals, and crew members going about their routines. For most, it was just another night, a short journey from one city to another. As the plane climbed to cruising altitude, the pilots began their preparations for the tricky approach into Halifax. Extreme cold can cause an aircraft's instruments to give inaccurate readings, making it seem higher than it truly is. To counter this, the crew carefully adjusted their descent calculations. Every altitude point, every fix was scrutinized, and the minimum descent altitude was updated for safety. Yet, even these careful measures would not be enough. The storm intensified and the runway's flaws became apparent. A problem in the lighting control panel went unnoticed. Setting the runway lights to a higher level automatically dimmed the approach lights, a critical issue that would severely impact visibility. Passengers remained unaware of the growing risks. The cabin crew operated with one fewer member than usual, a result of new Canadian regulations allowing a reduced staff. Though legal, this change left gaps in preparedness, a fact that would become painfully clear later. As the pilots neared Halifax, conditions worsened. Snow plows worked tirelessly to clear the runway, yet visibility fluctuated wildly, sometimes barely enough for a safe landing. At one point, the pilots made a prudent decision. They entered a holding pattern, circling above Halifax and waiting for the weather to improve. Fuel reserves allowed them time until 1 a.m. to make this call. Their patience showed their expertise and commitment to safety. Yet, by midnight, decisions shifted. Visibility improved slightly, and the pilots opted to proceed. The descent began at a calculated angle of 3.5 degrees, adjusted to counter the cold weather's effect on their instruments. But this decision was not without risks. A subtle psychological phenomenon, known as plan continuation bias, loomed over their judgment, a tendency to stick to the original plan despite emerging signs of danger. Snow slammed against the windshield as the plane descended, its path obscured by darkness and swirling flakes. The autopilot maintained its calculated angle, but the winds pushed the aircraft off the ideal approach path unnoticed by the crew. The lighting system's failures compounded the problem. Runway lights, dimmer than expected, made depth perception difficult. The slope of the runway further distorted their visual cue. Then came the crucial moment. At 12:29 a.m., the aircraft dropped below the minimum descent altitude. The radio altimeter called out, 400, the first officer remarked. Minimum lights only. The captain, sporting faint approach lights, decided to proceed, but the plane was already too low, too far from the runway to land safely. Snow and darkness masked the danger until it was too late. At 12:30 a.m., disaster struck. The aircraft collided with power lines, plunging the airport into darkness. Chaos erupted as the plane crashed into a snow-covered embankment, bounced off the ground, and skidded to a battered halt. Inside the cabin, pandemonium took hold. Injuries ranged from minor to serious, with passengers and crew scrambling in the pitch-black interior. The evacuation became a frantic struggle, hampered by carry-on baggage and the unpreparedness of some travelers. Amazingly, despite the devastation, everyone on board survived. Emergency crews arrived swiftly, navigating the snowy darkness to assist passengers. The aftermath revealed critical flaws in procedures and infrastructure. Air Canada's requirements for monitoring altitude were found to be lacking, leaving gaps in safety protocols. The autopilot operated as designed but contributed to the aircraft descending too low. The lighting system's inadequacies became blaringly obvious, raising questions about Halifax Airport's preparedness for adverse weather. This harrowing incident prompted change. Air Canada revised its pilot training and procedures, ensuring greater vigilance in approaches. Halifax Airport upgraded its runway lighting systems, addressing the flaws that had endangered Flight 624.nav. Canada implemented stricter rules about lighting settings, improving safety for future flights. These measures were a direct response to the new tragedy, a testament to the importance of learning from mistakes. The story of Flight 6024 is one of survival, resilience, and lessons learned. It serves as a chilling reminder of how quickly routine can turn into catastrophe, and how the combined efforts of skill, experience, and luck can make all the difference. The story of Air Canada Flight 624 isn't just about survival, it's about the lessons that keep us safe in the skies. Every flight carries a story, and with each challenge, we learn and adapt to make flying safer for everyone. If this story kept you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to hit like, share this video with others who love gripping aviation tales, and click subscribe for more true stories and insights from the skies. Your support helps us bring more compelling content to life. Thank you for watching.